Hey, y'all. So there's a lot of hubbub going on regarding the current impeachment and indictment trial of former President Donald Trump. And with that hubbub comes some pretty good questions, some pretty good arguments, and some pretty bad ones, too. Um, there are four that I want to address today. And it's just the most common questions and arguments that I come across in the day to day. I am not a political or anything like that expert. This is all my opinion, um, based on the little knowledge that I have. The first is, what is the point of impeaching and attempting to indict a former president who's no longer in office? Number two, what is the point of impeaching a president twice? The third is this all just political theater? And the fourth is, this just the Democrats attempting to silence Donald Trump because they stole the election? I'm going to answer the fourth one first. No, it's not. There, to date, is not a single good faith argument. Not a one. Not one good faith argument grounded in evidence, grounded in fact, that supports the idea that the election was stolen from Donald Trump. At the end of the day, more American voters felt that he did not deserve a second term than those who did. That's it. By almost 10% of his entire voter base. It was a pretty big margin. There's no evidence. There's no evidence to suggest that it was stolen. There's no evidence to suggest that it was rigged. There's no evidence to suggest or support any of the claims that are being made about the 2020 election. So there that is. And it's pretty ironic that the people who are pushing this are the same people who just weeks ago were talking about facts not caring about feelings. Okay, we're going to circle back to that first question. What is the point of impeaching a president who is not a sitting president anymore? Okay, what's the point? Well, when a president leaves office, they are still responsible for the actions that they took in their last few weeks in office. This is not some vendetta. This is simply, the political process takes time, and he pulled this 2 weeks before the inauguration of President Joe Biden. This was just a matter of timing. And in this country, at least on paper, we hold our leaders responsible. We hold our leaders responsible for the things that they say, the things that they do, at least on paper. It's it's why we have checks and balances, why we have an impeachment process. You are not immune from consequences because you are leaving office. The second, the second point that comes up is, what is the point of impeaching a president twice? What's up with that? Well, let's say in the last couple of years of your term as president, you, I don't know, you contacted a foreign government and attempted to extort military aid that would be a show of force against an adversarial nation in exchange for political leverage against your opponent in the upcoming election, that would determine whether or not you get a second term. Let's say you got impeached for that because there was enough evidence to suggest that it was impeachable, but for whatever reason you weren't indicted. Let's say in the last 2 weeks of your presidency, so almost 2 years later, you then incited a violent terror attack against, I don't know, let's say the United States Capitol building and the people inside, while they were just so happening to be, I don't know, let's say, certifying the results of the election that determined that you did not win re-election. Well, that's why. That's why. Because former President Donald Trump engaged in 2 impeachable crimes. That's why. Number 3, is this political theater? In a way, yeah, it is. It's a show. It's a show. In a way, it's a show to make a point. It's a show to make a point that we hold those in power accountable. That you do not get to incite a seditious terror attack and not suffer the consequences. It's a political show in the amount of taxpayer resources that were spent to put this whole stop the steal thing in motion in the first place. It's a political show to have Rudy Giuliani running around screaming out baseless claims about the election being stolen. It's a political show. Yeah, it's a political show. And it's also not a political show. Because what happened was real. And it was serious. And it was a direct and open threat to the democratic fabric of the United States of America. So why? Why are we doing this? Well, we are impeaching the former president, a second time because it sets a precedent. It sets a precedent that you do not get You do not get to play Caesar. It sets a precedent that there is a price for crossing the Rubicon. And though we may not exact that price the way that Brutus and company did, there's still a consequence. And if you are in a position of power in this country, to abuse that power in such a way is an act against the people. It's an act against the Republic. It's an act against the Constitution. And it's an act against the nation itself. This goes down as a precedent that is being set. Yeah. That's pretty much it. I hope you all have a good one. And be safe out there. Wear a mask. Social distance. Take care of yourself. Take care of your loved ones, your friends. If you made it this far into this long rant, I have a challenge for you today. Call up a friend. Just any friend. Call up a friend. See how they're doing. That's it. It could be somebody you talked to yesterday. It could be somebody that you haven't talked to in years. Give someone you haven't talked to in X amount of time a call. See how they're doing. Y'all have a good one.